Okay, this video is going to show you how to get started with a virtual machine. So for example, you might have a use case where you need to install some new software. And instead of creating the virtual machine from absolute scratch, you can start from what we call a template. And so the template that I'm going to recommend you start with is this pretty much a bare bones one. And so I'm going to show you the process that you would go through to make a copy of this template. And then once you've got a copy of the template, then it is set up with DHCP. And so I'll show you how to convert it from using a dynamic IP address to using a static IP address, a new one of your own name. And then in the third one, I will show you how to add a new disk to this virtual machine because the base one doesn't have a lot of disk space. So you'll need to add a new disk. All right, so the very first thing that we do is we go into the server and we find the base image and we just make a copy of it. So let's do that first. So what we always start off with is a terminal. And let's just close these out a little bit. So, so I'm going to just shut down minus all now. No big deal. Let's quit the chicken of the VNC. We don't need it anymore. Quit it. Okay, so let's open up. First of all, let's kill our terminal session and start up a new one. Okay. And so we'll SSH root at black. So here I'm simply SSHing into the virtual machine server, okay? And you'll want to basically know ahead of time where the base virtual machine is. And I'll point you to those resources later. But for now, you can see I've got a directory here called base. So let's just quickly look at what virtual machines we've got running. So we can see DB is running, but base isn't running. So that's perfect. So now let's make a copy of base. So I always use rsync to do all my copying because it can pick up where you left off. Let's do also another quick, let's see how big base is. So we can say disk usage minus sh base. So this says, it's 5.1 gigs are in base. And that's pretty big. It's probably going to take a little bit of time, but rsync will sort of give us a sense of how long it's going to take. So let's type in rsync minus avp --stats. Okay, I always type this in. We can look up what the flags mean, but basically it always works. And then you put in the source and then the target. So the source is base, and we're going to create a new one, and let's call it, let's just call it UCM1, and we'll hit go. And we can sort of see that it's copying at about 15 megabytes per second. And we know that the actual file size is 5.1 gigs. So we could do a little math, which we can do. So let's do that. And so we say 5100 megabytes total. And we do about 15 per second. So we'll divide that by 15. So it says it's going to take 340 seconds. So let's divide that by 60 to figure out how many minutes. So that's 5.6 minutes. Way too long, so I'm going to pause the screencast and pick it up when this step is finished. All right.